Chewies around Animal Crossing, and today I'm going to be focusing on my top 4 new indie games that were introduced during the Indie World Showcase on Wednesday the 19th of April. So if you're thinking about it, it's been literally a few days since the actual Indie World Showcase premiered and that stuff, but since then we've had some new games being featured. But I wanted to go over my top 4 today only because I was thinking if I was going to look at all the other new indie games, it might take me a while. So I thought if I just stick with my top 4, then I can go over the ones that did feature in there. They might have different gaming mechanics than other cozy games we've had in the past, for example. Who knows? Let's get into our first one, shall we? So for my top 1 cozy game that came out during the Indie World Showcase is Miko's Night Market. Well, this game is more likely a Japanese inspired game which involves a little boy who comes into the village who tries to save everyone and also try and restore peace to the actual village by adding more profit and helping them out. But of course they believed into this cat who was also called Nico at the time, who they actually believed in, who brought a lot of vegetation to their world and also added some crops and that stuff. But now because now it's more like modern day, of course they all need some help, and this is why Nico, this little boy here, is trying to help them by kind of giving them more shops, more stuff that they can sell and that stuff. But not all people are. There's a few baddies in this game as well that you might want to be aware of, which are that don't believe in the actual God itself, but they kind of against it. But you never know. But you also find little cats in this game as well, which actually follow you for some reason. But it's kind of a good kind of game, because it's kind of a cozy game that's kind of more Japanese inspired. It's also quite a bit doody, and the artwork in this game is absolutely amazing. So I would heavily recommend this game if you're someone who likes cats, for example. So if you're a cat person, this game would be up your street. So for our next cozy game, we have Playtop. So Playtop involves you as a chef trying to grow your own business. But it kind of reminds me of a mobile game, because you're kind of sometimes some of the mobile games are kind of a little bit chaotic, but this one looks a little bit on the chaotic side. But it kind of sees you doing some upgrades, and you can also play with other people as well if you had Nintendo Switch Online, which will be required, and you can also upgrade your business as well. So it's kind of quite a good game, because it looks like a puzzle game, but you can also automate the whole thing. So it's quite good though, because you can automate the whole thing and it just all goes madness. So it's quite a chaotic game, but again it's quite cozy as well. So I heavily recommend this game if you're into cooking, example. For our next cozy game, we have Quilts and Cats of Calico. So this game kind of involves using quilts, and you have to compete against other people online or locally. So I'm kind of thinking, if it's a cozy game but it also involves cats, there must be a lot of coziness that comes into this game. But I'm kind of thinking, if you're someone who's a cat person who also likes making quilts for a living, this is going to be up your street. But I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I think it says 2023 or something. But you can also rescue cats, and you can also compete against others online or locally, whatever. It kind of involves having Nintendo Switch Online, for example. So it's a lot of different games, but if you guys want to add this to your wish list, I recommend it. So for our last cozy game, we have Crime O'Clock. So this game kind of involves you to be like a detective who goes in these different areas to solve crimes as different animal detectives. It's quite good though, because it kind of involves you time travelling in time to resolve crimes that happened during the past, present or future. So it kind of gives me time travelling vibes and also Sherlock Holmes vibes. But for me, I've never seen a detective game like this before. So if you guys are looking for a newish game mechanic, for example mystery and also being a detective, this game might be up your street, because there's a lot of things in it that might be very interesting. But I quite like the art style, because it's very I can say cartoony, but I quite like the art style, because every time you solve a crime, it kind of adjusts stuff, so you can restore peace to the world a little bit, which is quite good. I quite like how the game works out. And plus, every time you solve a crime, you move on to a next level as well. So if you do want to add this to your wish list, I heavily recommend it, by the way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, because I was kind of thinking to myself, which cozy games would I choose if I was going to showcase them for you today, because there's a few cozy games that were showcased which were quite new, or there might have been like cozy games that have already had demos already. It kind of depends, but I quite like the fact that we got different variety of different game mechanics. For example, cooking, Japanese style, mystery, and also a puzzle game that involves having cats as well, so it's not just Quilts on itself. So it kind of makes me feel like, well, if I was going to play one of those games, I would like to know when their release dates are. But I think for Miko's Night Market, it comes out September the 26th, 2023. And for Night O'Clock, that game comes out roughly I think it's June the 30th, 2023. So those games are kind of like, one's in like early summer and the others in early autumn time. So if you guys want to add those to your wish list, I heavily recommend it, by the way. Make sure you leave a like on this video. If you're new to my channel and want to see more of my content, please subscribe. There's a variety of content you might enjoy. Might involve Animal Crossing content and Metopia content. So I'm kind of thinking for next week, I'm kind of focusing on maybe Metopia or something, or maybe another game that I might want to play. Or maybe I'll just look at the actual cozy games that were featured in the Indie World Showcase or something. I'm not really sure at the moment, but let me know in the comments down below which cozy games were you most excited for when it came to the Direct. Was it the ones that were quite new, or the ones that you were kind of thinking, well, we need more like mobile games added to Switch or something? You never know, but there's a lot of different cozy games out there that you can actually have even on iPhone devices as well. So it kind of makes sense that if we do have more games on mobile devices that are also cozy, that would be quite handy in a way. And also turn notifications for further Animal Crossing and Metopia content for me. So bye for Animal Crossing, I'll see you next one, so bye.